Welcome back, Boston Celtics fans, to another incredibly important and highly analytical episode, where we break down the absolute most massive front office developments surrounding our favorite basketball franchise as we march directly into the postseason. We are skipping the long introductions today and diving straight into the absolute most pivotal analytical revelation of the entire season, because the architect of this incredible Boston Celtics roster, Brad Stevens, has just been statistically proven to be operating on a completely different level of genius compared to absolutely every other general manager and president of basketball operations in the entire National Basketball Association. There is honestly no perfect or completely objective way to flawlessly quantify exactly how good a professional basketball executive truly is at their highly complex job on a daily basis. Some fans judge executives purely by championship rings, while the others judge them by draft history or blockbuster trades. However, one highly specific advanced statistical metric that was proudly shared recently by the analytical experts over at B-Ball Index does an absolutely phenomenal and incredibly comprehensive job of perfectly demonstrating exactly how thoroughly Brad Stevens and the entire Boston Celtics front office are completely dominating the rest of the league right now. The specific advanced statistic being utilized for this fascinating front office evaluation is famously called LeBron, which is a high-lie complex mathematical acronym that essentially stands for luck-adjusted player estimate using a box prior regularized on-off metric. Over the past few seasons, this specific mathematical formula has quickly become an incredibly popular and highly respected standard metric among serious analysts for accurately measuring a professional player's overall holistic impact on the basketball court. As the brilliant mathematical creators of this advanced metric describe it in simple layman terms, the LeBron statistic deeply evaluates a player's individual contributions using the Tradit ional box score, which is then heavily weighted using stabilized offensive archetypes and incredibly advanced on and off calculations, utilizing a highly specific luck-adjusted methodology. All of this intense and complicated number crunching ultimately provides a completely holistic and incredibly fair evaluation of overall player impact per exactly 100 possessions, while that specific player is physically on the court competing. With the grueling regular season officially ending this upcoming Sunday, the statistical geniuses over at BBall Index proudly posted a massive revelation regarding the 2025 to 2026 season. They completely crunched all the financial and performance numbers and revealed that during this current season, there were exactly 7 specific players across the entire league who mathematically outperformed their actual financial salary by a staggering $30 million or more based entirely on the LeBron metric. Now, 4 of those 7 players are exactly who you would logically expect them to be. They are budding young superstars currently playing on highly restrictive and extremely cheap rookie-scale contracts, like the incredible Victor W. Wembanyama down in San Antonio, the athletic Jalen Duren, the versatile Chet Holmgren in Oklahoma City, and the massive rim protector Donovan Clingan. Those 4 young players are locked into rookie deals so naturally their incredible production massively outweighs their small paychecks. But the absolute craziest part of this entire statistical revelation is that the other 3 remaining player S on that exclusive 7-man list all proudly wear the iconic green and white uniform for the Boston Celtics. Those 3 players are the relentless guard, Payton Pritchard, the breakout center Neemias Queta, and the absolute two-way maestro Derrick White. Let us take an incredibly deep dive into exactly how Brad Stevens mathematically built this historic competitive advantage, starting right at the top with the incredible surplus value of Payton Pritchard. Pritchard currently possesses one of the absolute best and most team-friendly bargain contracts in the entire professional league, making just $7.2 million this current season. Yet the highly advanced LeBron metric calculated that his elite shooting, his relentless full-court defensive pressure, and his incredible offensive rebounding have him mathematically outproducing that specific contract by a completely staggering $34 million in surplus value. Pritchard has completely transformed himself from a situational bench player into an absolutely vital engine for the second unit, running the offense, hitting massive momentum-shifting and logo threes, and proving that Brad Stevens was an absolute genius for locking him up to a long-term extension when other teams might have simply let him walk away in free agency. Right here in the absolute middle of this massive deep dive into the front office brilliance of the Boston Celtics If you are truly enjoying our daily tactical breakdowns, and you want to stay completely updated on all the absolute best basketball coverage, available anywhere, please take a quick second right now to passionately hit that subscribe button and leave a like on this video, because your continuous daily support is exactly what allows us to keep bringing you the most detailed basketball analysis on the platform. Getting right back into the absolute mastery of Brad Stevens, we have to deeply analyze the incredible and highly improbable ascension of our starting center Neemias Queta. Queta is currently playing on an absolute bare-bones minimum deal, which is essentially pennies in the grand scheme of modern professional basketball finances. However, due to highly unfortunate injuries and roster shifting, he was suddenly thrust into the spotlight and absolutely broke out as a completely above-average starting center, anchoring the paint-grabbing massive offensive rebounds and altering shots at the rim with his incredible wingspan. Because he is making the absolute minimum salary, the LeBron metric calculated that Queta miraculously overperformed his financial contract by a massive $32 million this season. You have to remember that Queta was essentially a cast-off player who was let go by the Sacramento Kings organization, and Brad Stevens smartly swooped in, recognized his raw physical potential, brought him into the elite Boston developmental system, and completely polished his game until he became an absolute massive surplus value asset for a championship contending team. And then we finally arrive at perhaps the absolute most remarkable and completely mind-blowing player on this entire exclusive list, the great Derrick White. Unlike the young rookies or the minimum contract players, Derrick White is already getting paid a very handsome salary, making exactly $28.1 million this current season. Yet despite already making a massive chunk of money, the advanced statistics show that his completely flawless two-way basketball IQ, his elite rim protection as a guard, and his incredibly efficient three-point shooting have him still somehow outproducing that massive $28 million number by an additional $30 million in surplus value. White is playing at an absolute all-NBA and all-defense level simultaneously, while executing head coach Joe Mazzulla and his highly complex system to absolute perfection. Now, we all know that the LeBron metric is not an absolutely perfect or flawless statistic, because basketball relies heavily on chemistry, spacing, and defensive communication that numbers cannot always perfectly capture. But it may honestly be the absolute best analytical tool that we currently have at our disposal, and it is completely amazing exactly how much it brilliantly illustrates the massive surplus of financial value completely scattered across the Boston roster. Brad Stevens and his elite front office company have consistently operated at a completely different analytical level when it comes to expertly evaluating talent that will seamlessly fit into their specific 5-out offensive scheme and switch-heavy defensive scheme. They have mastered the art of acquiring and developing these specific players, whether they be late draft picks who were overlooked by everyone else like Payton Pritchard or other TAM's unwanted cast-offs, searching for a second chance like Neemias Queta, or even highly undervalued trade targets who just needed the right environment to flourish like Derrick White. The overarching reality right now in Massachusetts is that absolutely everything the Boston Celtics front office touches has miraculously turned to pure gold. And this specific advanced statistic definitively proves that massive competitive advantage to a highly ridiculous and completely undeniable degree. But the incredible financial and on-court value up and down the roster goes well beyond just these three specific players who are loudly driving home the message the most. The Celtics have also continually gotten absolutely outstanding and highly reliable play from elite sharpshooter Sam Hauser, who is currently playing on an incredibly cheap $10.1 million deal, completely stretching the floor and punishing opposing defenses for collapsing on Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. Furthermore, Brad Stevens has brilliantly stocked the developmental cupboard with promising young talent, like the defensive menace Jordan Walsh, the highly skilled Baylor Shireman, and the incredibly athletic Hugo Gonzalez, who are absolutely all currently playing on extremely cheap rookie-scale deals, learning the championship system from the veterans. On top of all of that, they have the highly energetic Luka Garza operating perfectly on a minimum offseason free agent signing, providing massive sparks of scoring off the bench whenever his number is called, and they even seem to have brilliantly found a very solid and completely reliable rotation player by promoting Ron Harper Jr. from a simple two-way contract straight onto the standard roster. At the absolute end of the day, we all completely understand that intense professional basketball games are definitely not won on computer spreadsheets or dry mathematical whiteboards, but it is completely and utterly obvious to absolutely anyone who closely follows the intricacies of the modern game that Brad Stevens and his incredible executive team are completely creating a massive historical advantage directly on the basketball court by masterfully maximizing financial value, vastly better than absolutely any other rival team in the entire league, which perfectly sets the foundation for sustained championship dominance for years to come.